Hi, this is part 2 of Sleeping Systems. We're going to be reviewing two solo tents. The first one is the Terra Nova Laser 4-on-1, which we've got pictured up over there. The second one is the MSR Hubba. This one's used by Mike. I use the Laser 4-on-1. Then we're going to be reviewing them and just discussing the really good aspects of both tents. Okay, so this is the Laser 4-on-1 by Terra Nova. Weighs about 700 grams, retails for about £250, could be more expensive or cheaper depending on where you get it. We're going to be talking about some of the features of it. It's a really good lightweight tent. It's one of the lightest in the world. It's a one-man, the tunnel tent with a single pole construction, and it uses pegs to pin it down the floor. The Laser 4-on-1 is an outer pitch first tent. This means that in wet weather you can pitch it really quickly, the inner isn't going to get wet, and you're going to be a lot more comfortable while sleeping. A good feature about a double layer tent is that condensation isn't going to run on to the inside of the tent. You're not going to get wet, and your clothes aren't going to get wet, your sleeping bag's not going to get wet, you're going to get a better night's sleep. So you're better off getting a double layered tent. I'm going to talk about a few of the features of the tent now. Now, the Laser 4-on-1 is a pitched tent. It's not a freestanding tent. It means that you need pegs to pin it to the ground. The pegs that come with it are titanium 1 gram pegs, really strong, really lightweight, and they're ideal for harder ground. If you use them in wet soil or softer ground, they can come loose if it's really windy, so this is something worth noting. Now, a really good feature of the tent is this guy line on the end. It's a tensioning guy line, a really simple design. It allows you to make the tent really tensioned to the ground, really secure. Terra Nova tents use a particular fabric whereby underneath the poles it's not waterproof. So they come with a black waterproof cover for the poles. Really simple. It goes over the pole like this. You can again tension these to the ground with pegs, and you can tie it to the bottom and then tie it on the other side, and it's an extra feature which means that the seams are going to be waterproof.
Okay, as you can see, the Terra Nova Laser 4-on-1 has got a really nice porch for cooking and storing your gear. It's about 1 foot wide, which makes it really good for living in when it's really wet weather. Johnny's going to now show you the inside of the tent.
Okay, now I'm sitting up in the middle. My head's pretty much touching the top, but if I lie down, you can see with my feet at the bottom, there's still more than enough headroom to feel comfortable. And there's many a time where I've lay here and I've just sat at the porch and cooked food, and none of my gear's getting wet, all my gear's inside, so you don't have to worry about it not being big enough. If you're 6 foot or smaller, you're going to pretty much have enough room. So this concludes the review of the Terra Nova Laser 4-on-1. I'm just going to show you a full surround view of the tent, and that's it there. Okay, so I'm going to review the MSR Hubba. It's a freestanding tent, retails for about £220 and weighs about 1.4 kilograms. Now, it's got a lot of really good features comparative to the Laser 4-on, and we're going to go over the features and compare them both. Okay, now, although the MSR Hubba is a freestanding tent, it still uses 4 pegs on all corners to secure it to the ground, giving it a bit more stability. The pegs are made of a light metal alloy. They're not as light as the Photon pegs, but they're still very secure, very stable, very strong, and there's a big difference between them. The main one is, as you can see here, they're L-shaped. This gives them greater grip on the ground, but it also means you can stabilise the tent on softer soil or even wet soil. Now, mine was guyed all the way around. This tent comes with an extra option of guy holes all the way around the outer, which gives you a bit more flexibility on how stable you want the tent to be where you're pitching it. Now, one of the greatest features of the MSR Hubba is its porch. As you can see, a big guy like me can crouch down, still have plenty of room to move around. If I get inside, or if it was wet and you're setting up camp, You've got plenty of room to put your bag and your boots, anything that you want in the porch. It'll give you a little bit more comfort when you're setting up camp. Now another great feature is the outer of the porch. It can be rolled up, as you can see, with a hoop in a link, and this can also be done on the other side as well. So if it was a really windy day, you have flexibility on what direction you want to set up your tent. So this concludes our review of the MSR Hubba. I'm just showing you the outside of it now whilst it's fully pitched.